everybody all at once. I want to go into some just very personal details of what it's like in the form of awakening that I've been experiencing for almost 3 years now. One has to do with it's too good to be true, and the other has to do with the more responsibility you take, the more equanimity you get. And that this is the most funny reversal of expectations that I want to describe to you, that I ran headlong into hideous responsibilities. Starting at an extremely young age, basically. But that I've had mounting responsibilities to the point where I seem to have taken on unprecedented responsibility in my psyche, in my how I move energy, and how I use intention. The force of intention is to be the vanguard of the new civilization as per Natu is peace, and prior unity in the global cooperative forum as per Adida, and many other supportive elements and other entities, beings, and organizations, etc., to support that. But principally among them is taking responsibility, especially after Natu is peace came out in 2006, for global governance and really having a clear pathway forward to what it would look like to end war and have global cooperative culture be a benign and voluntary reality. But what that meant for me personally is that even before I had the awakening, I had to be willing to take on unlimited responsibility. Even though at the time, in a way, that looked like being willing to take on unlimited stress. And I think that's what people fear when they are resistive towards the idea of global cooperative forum or Adida or the awakening process and transcending the ego. And why do I have to be enlightened, Why do I have to be fully enlightened in the Adida sense of 7-stage divine self-realization? Like, why is it so important to go all the way? Can't we just be a little bit more enlightened, and is that enough? But no, personally, I took on the fact that I was being asked to do total 7-stage divine self-realization within 6 months to 2 years. Adida was always talking about a very short time frame for maturity and practice, or that he wasn't holding out that it was necessarily the case that you had to take lifetimes to do it. He's the ultimate quickener, I promise you that. And if he said you could do it in 6 months to 2 years, then it's true. And for me, it took from 1982 to 2013. So for me, it took 31 years to be awakened in Adida's company after having found and recognized him at first. But I also found that there was a great quickening process from 2012 to 2013, and that things evolved and progressed for me very rapidly after Adida's Mahasamadhi in 2008. It's just been a series of almost leaps of ability, functionality, but most of all responsibility. So this idea that I'm taking on responsibility for the saving of the earth, and that, like the man with the demon with the glass hand, the Outer Limits episode where the guy has the entire human race wound on a copper wire in his cybernetic heart. And if he doesn't survive, the whole human race will disappear. So if I don't succeed, I'm the last little who in Whoville, in Horton Hears a Who, that if I don't get my voice heard in my my destiny in the Viking sense fulfilled, the Earth might not make it. Now that's obvious, narcissistic grandiosity and whatever you want to diagnose that as. But that's the level of responsibility I was willing to take. And in a sense, I'd already been taking that responsibility since I'd read The Fate of the Earth, and I knew the planet was threatened by nuclear annihilation. I knew this was a social and spiritual problem that I had to find the answer to, and I found it concurrently, which was LSD and Adi-Da and rock and roll. And other things beyond that later on. But I didn't languish in darkness upon facing my responsibility for preventing World War III, preventing the use of nuclear weapons, and presiding over the responsible dismantling of every nuclear weapon and every harmful form of energy and ideology and warfare. So I had my work cut out for me when I was 18. I realized that this was my destiny and my purpose. So I just wanted to share with you a particular unique facet of this experience of awakening is that the more responsibility I took, the more equanimity I've experienced. And the other is that to keep getting away with this level of creative manifestation and exalted experience and, the continuing fulfillment of the 3 campaigns, which are enlightenment, rock stardom, and saving the world. Like to keep making day by day furtherance of those 3 awesome goals, and think of the awesome responsibility involved with those 3 things. There's nobody on the planet that you know who's taken the responsibility that I did. Who's not Adi-Da, or Meher Baba, or some of these other global type personalities that have taken a kind of, they're the leaders, really. And but I'm one of the first followers to find, to really fully embrace the new paradigm that Adi-Da is giving, and make it public, and make it part of my art, and make it part of my awakening, and make it part of my activism. Art, activism, awakening, the 3 A's. No one has fulfilled those 3 A's more than I have on this planet. And I've been granted that kind of exalted access and experience. Day by day, I call it getting away with it. And that's the part that I call it's too good to be true. Every day is too good to be true. And yet, yes, there's the atrocities of the ego happening concurrent, apparently. But the 2 things I just wanted to mention, personal unique facets of my awakening experience, are A, it's too good to be true, and B, the more responsibility you assume, the more equanimity you are granted. Praise Adi motherfucking Da.